Everything's really steep in Guatemala here, so we walk all the way down to this little house. A little boy comes out and he's like, come into my family. You have to come into my family and share. And we sit down and the pastor shares a little, and then he points to me. He's like, okay, you do the cube. And I'm like, are you sure? I was really nervous. It was one of my first times doing Spanish.
Using EvangeCube made it incredibly easy to present the gospel.
We all kind of know it, but it's real easy to leave a step out or forget some important detail. But not only do the pictures show for the person you're speaking to, it reminds you.
Right in their living room, they got down on their knees and he prayed to accept Christ, and they were crying, and the whole family was in the room, their children.
And I immediately saw how wonderful it would be to use the Jesus film at night and the cube in the daytime for personal evangelism, to follow up or to invite people.
And the interesting thing about all this, when we think about over 400 people accepting Jesus Christ in 5 days, that's not about Valerie, that's not about a pastor, that's about the Holy Spirit.
And right here in Guatemala City, just in this past week, we've seen one church, for instance, about 30 people were trained in 2 hours. We went out for about 30 minutes, shared the gospel with 25 people, and 15 people prayed to receive Christ just during the practice time.
And I love that boldness, that they're willing to take that cube. They'd never seen the cube before. They got the same training, you know, they got training, and in 5 minutes they were ready. They were waiting at the door.
The one thing about the cube and the Jesus film was that it wasn't about religion. We didn't show them a cube and say, this is a new religion. We showed them the gospel message as clear and concise as we possibly could.
And no matter what words you use, it has an impact when you see Jesus on the cross.
Our vision, our dream, is ultimately to mobilize at least 10,000 laymen out of Nazarene churches, particularly in North America, to come to fields all over the world, just like Guatemala City, where those laymen come together, working with laymen from the field, going out and doing personal evangelism by day, showing the Jesus film by night, all in an effort to start planting new churches.
I wanted to see these people on our team impacted so that when they go home, they can infect their whole church.
It's quite conceivable that over the next few years we could see as many as 10,000 new Nazarene churches planted around the world.
It's an amazing tool, and my hope is that this trip this week and using the cube and the Jesus film is just the beginning.
It's simple and amazing, and I'm going back to America to do it, and yeah, it's awesome.